driverless.
It was a huge network of automated electric trains running right under central London, carrying mail between main railway stations and sorting offices much faster than along the congested streets above our heads. And it's amazing to think construction of the railway began as far back as 1914, with the tunnels dug by hand. Work was put on hold during the First World War, but when the railway finally opened in 1927, it cut the journey time across London from a few hours to just 30 minutes.
It was an engineering marvel. Mail Rail ran almost non-stop, night and day, for over 75 years until 2003.
As we explore, we'll be going back in time to see tunnels, loading platforms, and a few surprises. We'll be at our first stop in a few minutes. Some sandbags just then. Ray, could you tell us about that? Sandbags on the line.
That's called the sand drag. It's a pile of sand on the track designed to stop runaway trains. If they run down that hill we've just come down, that will catch them.
The platform you're about to see looks much as it did on the day it shut down in 2003. Ray, can you describe it for us?
When Mail Rail was running, this platform would be a hive of activity. You'd see people playing darts between the trains arriving, guys conversing back and forth and wheeling work up and down. It was a noisy and lively place to work.
Ray's going to tell you more about life working on the railway as we take a trip down memory lane through the many decades of Mail Rail.
We're under Mount Pleasant sorting office, heading east to Whitechapel. It was hard work down here, but we all thought we were part of something important. There was enormous team spirit. We seemed to get ourselves in the news a lot in the 90s. It didn't hurt that Bruce Willis made a film down here called Hudson Hawk. In the 80s, we had our 60th anniversary. Along with that, we had a new brand and finally some new trains. I'll tell you two things that sum up the 70s. Postcodes made life a lot easier, and strikes made life not so easy. The swinging 60s. Those World Cup stamps sold out after England won. There were a few celebrations down here that summer. In the 50s, air travel became much more common, and so did airmail, and that meant even more of it travelled along Mail Rail. The railway was bombed several times. This station suffered the most damage when it was hit in 1943. Amazingly, the railway was back up and running the very next day. That reflected how vital the railway had become.
tunnel off to the left leads to Liverpool Street Station, where mail was transferred to the main railway network. Further down that tunnel, it looks like a maintenance crew is checking the flood barriers.
This side's good. What's that line?
Big heavy steel doors that close it off.
During the railway's construction, 10 men scrambled to safety when the nearby River Fleet broke into where they were digging. The barriers here were installed later, after the war, but they'd never had to be used.
Ray, there's something else here that people might be interested in. Can you tell us about that?
When we move off just up ahead, look down towards the track. You might catch a glimpse of the train graveyard, where disused trains are stored. I must have worked on all of them at some time or other.
Don't worry, everybody. Just a power cut. Ray, can you explain?
Power cuts happen from time to time when the railway was operational. We could draw power from the next station along to keep everything running. And of course, us guys in the engineering teams always kept the trains and track in good order.
Okay, on we go. Further back to the early days in the 1930s. Then there was no email, texting, or instant messaging. People relied on the mail much more than today, especially at Christmas. So there was a lot to move. Trainloads of mail arrived at every station, every few minutes, with less than 60 seconds to unload and reload. Let's follow a few of those letters. This is the Colonel. He's writing to the BBC. This is Kathleen. She's keeping in touch with her sweetheart in the Navy. And this is Mary. Her letter is very special because it's going to, ho ho ho, Father Christmas.
Darling bird, I can't tell you how sad I am that you're not coming over for Christmas. That maybe has a lot to answer for. I've a good mind to go to the Admiralty office and give them what for.
To the Director General, British Broadcasting Corporation, I have recently purchased a television apparatus and feel compelled to inquire as to whether you are planning to broadcast moving pictures of the King's speech on Christmas Day.
Dear Father Christmas, it's me again, Mary Reardon. I wrote to you last year, if you remember. I asked for a puppy, but you bought me a doll's house instead. But I do still really want a puppy.
Father Christmas Day, the drawing of a puppy. Must be important. In you go.
Must go now, or I shall be late for work. Take good care of yourself, Bert, my love. And Merry Christmas, my darling. Kathleen.
I look forward to your response with keen anticipation. Yours sincerely, Colonel Arthur Bingley Crouch, retired.
Perhaps this year will be a bumper year for puppies. I hope so. If there are any spare ones, I will be very grateful for one. Wishing you a very happy Christmas. Mary Reardon.
So those 3 letters travelled along mail rail and got delivered quickly and safely.
You could say the mail rail's the beating heart of the British postal system. Postal Railway. It was unique, and I love being part of the great team keeping the railway running.
We hope you'll enjoy exploring the rest of the exhibition just as much. Goodbye and Merry Christmas.
Goodbye and Merry Christmas.